Hello, everyone.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, everyone.
Everybody.
I heard recording in progress.
Is this an interactive line? Are we interacting with one another here? What's happening?
Well, my presentation is interactive, but Shawnee's going to run the presentation. So I'll let you know when the interactive part come up. And Shawnee, will you be able to unmute people?
I think she's frozen.
So we should just mute ourselves.
Shawnee is frozen right now.
Okay, I'm going through a lot of changes, so I'm gonna get off my iPad and get on my computer.
We can see you and hear you.
I know it, but if I sit back like this, I can't see good. And if sitting up like this is just too much.
Your meeting ID followed by pound. Enter your participant ID followed by pound. You are in the meeting now. There are 15 participants in the meeting. This meeting is being recorded. You are muted.
Come on, I'm in a meeting.
Hello. Hello.
You can
you hear me now?
yourself by...
Hello, can you hear me now?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Sean.
So my name is Sean. Okay, my name is Shawnee McElwain. I am the co-moderator for Black Presbyterians United. This is our third installment of BPU Presents, and it's got ... on all of the marketing because it's whatever the facilitator that we bring in for the first Tuesday of every month chooses to talk about. This month, we're talking about life and wellness. If you received our email, Natalie Richardson, I'm sorry, I'm gonna pull up my notes. I had notes and then the internet went out and I got confused. So Natalie Richardson brings years of life wisdom, career changes, wellness, fitness, and is ready to help others live content with choices. And her new company is launching this month, the Hummingbird Life's Journey, which is a life and wellness firm that helps to promote health and wellness with practical applications, and particularly for Black women. So we will have an interactive presentation by Natalie. This will be recorded, and following the presentation, we'll answer. She'll be available to answer some questions. But before we get started, I will open us up in prayer. Holy and gracious God, we thank you for this opportunity. We thank you for just allowing your spirit to move in and around all of the areas of our life. Let this evening be fruitful. Let it be inspiring. Let it be educational, and let it be pleasing in your sight. And also, just let it be so. Thank you. In Jesus' name, amen. And so now, without further ado, introducing you, Natalie Richardson will be our guest tonight.
Thanks, Shawnee. So can everyone see the presentation?
I'm about to pull it up now. Give me 1 second.
Okay, well, I could just go ahead and give the background while you're pulling it up. Hi, everyone. My name's Natalie Richardson. I am the owner of Hummingbird's Life Journey. I am, the focus of my business is women over the age of 40. That's the focus. It's not exclusive to women over the age of 40. I am currently a certified life coach. I'm working on my meditation coach certification, and I'm also working on my yoga teacher training. I am going to be certified in alignment hatha yoga. I'm not sure if you all know, but yoga, there's so many different forms, so many different kinds of yoga. But hatha yoga focuses on poses that channel your energy. My particular yoga is about alignment, which I need it personally for myself, but to help people stay aligned as they're in the poses. So that's just a little bit about me. The title of the presentation is Our Breath is Our Bestie, Our Minds Require Meditation. For those who may not know, bestie means best friend. BFF, best friend forever. So next slide, Shani. I'll just say next instead of saying next slide, if that's helpful. So, no, not next, go back. Why hummingbird? Hummingbirds have a universal symbolism of joy, freedom, resilience, healing, and love. My personal reason for, those are reasons why I like hummingbirds, but one of the reasons I like hummingbirds, because I kind of dissected the word. When I think of humming is soothing. You know, no matter what type of situation you're in, for me, if you just hum, you know, it's just a soothing feeling. You know, it takes away a little bit of the edge when you hum, you know, just hum. And birds to me represent freedom. And freedom is one of my top core values. And so when I think of freedom to enjoy life's journey, you know, because life is a journey. Also last year when we were in Mexico, my husband and I, we visited a part of Mexico called High Point by way of Phoenix. It's an area that most people on the East Coast part of Mexico, people don't go to. A lot of people go to from the West Coast because you can drive from Los Angeles to this part of Mexico, High Point. But long story short, on the beach, every morning I would go meditate and there were always so many hummingbirds. I felt like it was a sign, you know, and I felt like they would greet me every morning. So it was just a beautiful experience. So thus I decided to name my business Hummingbirds Life Journey. Next. So I'm just going to go over a few facts about hummingbirds. I'm not going to go through this list because I don't want to read the slides to you, but I'm just going to go over a few that I thought were interesting. The first one, they are the smallest migrant birds, but they don't migrate in flocks like most birds. They migrate alone, traveling up to 500 miles at a time. The name hummingbird comes from the noise that their wings make. And hummingbirds are the only birds that can fly backwards. I thought that was interesting. Not that I would want to go backwards in my life. I just thought it was interesting how they could fly backwards. And the last one I'm going to touch on, they're so small, they're so light, but sometimes they can be kind of long, but they're still light. They weigh less than a nickel, which is very light. Next. So just want to talk about the breath. Our breath is our bestie, our best friend. The breath is powerful and it's a gift from God. In most cases, we don't even think about our breath and how it keeps us anchored. Usually when we get upset, usually for me, sometimes when I get upset, you know, we may take a deep breath, we may huff and puff. But in most cases, I wasn't aware of my breath and the power it played in keeping me grounded. Our breath is our lifeline. It's a sustaining force. It's a sustaining, vital, living force that's with us all the time. So when you are feeling calm, your nervous system is relaxed and your breathing becomes slower. When we experience emotions like when we experience emotions like fear, anxiety, which a lot of us are experiencing nowadays, considering the things that are going on in the world, the breath becomes short and condensed. This causes the body to go into fight, flight, or freeze mode. This is why it's important to practice breathing exercises, because they can help reduce stress, they can help with anxiety, and just help you feel grounded. Next. There are many breathing techniques. There are a lot of breathing techniques. These are just 4 that I actually practice. The alternate nostril breathing involves blocking off one nostril and breathing out of the next nostril, alternating nostrils in a regular pattern. I'll show you how to do it. This is supposed to energize you. This is one we practice in yoga quite a bit. Belly breathing. I'll just show you the alternate. So, and just to back up a little bit, whenever you're working on breathing techniques, I would suggest to always be seated in a comfortable position. It's not something you just want to try walking around. You just kind of, because you're trying to ground yourself and steady your breath. So the next, belly breathing. According to the American Institute of Stress, 20 to 30 minutes of belly breathing, also known as abdominal breathing, can help reduce stress and anxiety. 20 to 30 minutes sounds long, but this is something you can do before you go to bed. This is one you could do laying down. This is something you can practice at any time. Box breathing is more like a counting breathing to get you to inhale, hold, and then exhale for the same count. Lion's breath is the one that comes from the back of the throat. It's like, don't spit when you do it if you can. If you're around people, just try not to. It should come from the deep back of your throat. This is one that helps increase cardiovascular function. I know this is one, I never realized it until, I won't say never, but I didn't realize it till today. I went for a walk. This is one I do a lot when I'm trying to catch my breath when I'm walking or working out. I usually go, and just try to just help ground myself. And just a quick story. This is, I used to, like I said, I do this when I'm in the gym, and when I used to work out with my kids, they'd be like, "You always so noisy," because I didn't realize that I was doing the lion's breath, breathing. So it's important to me. So this is where we get into the interactive part. So we're going to practice each breathing technique. Now, I use my dominant hand, which I'm left-handed. What is this? This is like the Hawaii sign or the alpha sign or what have you, but we're not doing that. I use my dominant hand to press the pinky on one side. Inhale on your opposite nostril. Then move your thumb. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And that one is supposed to, again, help to energize you. And you can do that around 5 times at your leisure, but that's a good one. It kind of looks cute. It's a very popular one. Okay, belly breathing is when you place a hand on your belly and a hand on your chest. And you inhale. Now, when you inhale, don't push out your stomach, just let it stay regular. Just inhale. Exhale. And when you exhale, you should feel your stomach sort of deflate. Don't squeeze in your stomach tight. It doesn't require sucking in your abdominals. It just requires just inhaling. Exhaling. This is a really good one for relieving stress. It's deep abdominal breathing. The next one is box breathing. This is one I use to sort of center myself during meditation. Shani, I can't see everybody to see if people are finished breathing, but that's fine. Box breathing is where you count one, you inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. So inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, a lot of people do box breathing, but some people do it up to 8. I've done it up to 8, but that's a lot, because if you do it up to 4, and if you count, just that pace, it's a lot for me, so that's when you can increase over time. So the next one, the lion's breath. This should come from the back of your throat. It's clearing out. So, you should hear the it should loosen your face, your jaw muscles. I see my mother over there doing the
Natalie, you have a question. Does it matter where you inhale from, mouth or nose?
You should inhale from your nose. Which one? All of them, you really should start in your nose. And your mouth shouldn't be closed. Your lips should be pursed. So you don't need to do that. Your lips can be pursed, especially for the count. It shouldn't be a struggle. It should be easy or comfortable. I'm not going to say easy, because it's something you continuously have to work at. You become better over time. Practice doesn't make perfect. Practice does not make perfect. Practice makes better practice. So next slide. So change your breathing, change your life. These are some benefits that breathing can have on us. Focusing on your breathing can have significant impact on your well-being and stress levels. Awakening your mind and body may lower blood pressure and possibly reduce anxiety. Next. So our breath is a gift. So I'm not a Bible scholar by any means, but these are just some scriptures I looked up that stood out to me about breath. And just like I mentioned earlier, our breath is our vital force. These scriptures sort of say that to me. It's a gift from God. It's living within us. It is like us. It is with us all the time, like a best friend. So if you think about how you treat your best friend, that's how you should treat your breath. It's the one thing that's with you from the beginning to end, and we should take care of it and not just take it for granted. It's something we don't think about. I didn't think about it until I guess too recently, since I've gone through my transformation. We get up, we go about our day, but it's such a gift, and we should harness it as a gift. Next. Ooh. Okay. Take a few minutes to read this slide. This is another interactive piece of the presentation. So can anyone guess the correct answer?
Some of us are slow readers.
That's okay. I didn't throw any tricks in here.
I would say all.
Okay. Are we all in agreement? All, correct. E is the right answer. Just to give you a little background, meditation changed my life. In 2019, right before the pandemic, I was just in a really sad place. My work life wasn't going well, which made me miserable, which can impact your personal life as well. When your work life is not going well, or when your personal life is not going well, your work life may not go well. So I was just in a miserable place. I was anxious, I was paranoid of failing and not doing the things I needed to do. I was just sad. I was just in a sad place. And I've developed a few things, like my hair started falling out. I developed a twitch in my eyes, and I was just full of anxiety all the time. I would go to bed sad, and I would wake up crying. I didn't know what it was, but I was just really, really sad. I feel like I did a pretty good job hiding it from people, but it came to a point where I just couldn't hide it from myself anymore. So while the pandemic has been a horrible experience for the world and for families, I just took it as an opportunity to get my life together, to just to sit down and do some mental work, and to also do some physical work. So I began to meditate day and night. I began to meditate, I began to pray, just to try to anchor myself, to figure out what was going on. So when I initially started meditating, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't read a book. I just knew I needed to sit still and listen and just get to the bottom of me. And I'm in a much better place now. Maybe not where I need to be, but I'm enjoying the journey, and meditation is a tool that I go to often. Next. So this is a quote I took from a book that I'm reading for my meditation certification. Just to summarize it, it says, the greater your understanding, the more flexible and tolerant, the more compassionate you can be. You feel a natural love towards others because you understand them, and you understand others because you understand yourself. So as I began to understand myself, I began to understand others. As I began to extend love and compassion towards myself, I'm able to extend it towards others. And that's authentic love and compassion. So that's what meditation has done for me. Next. Now, meditation requires cultivation. A lot of people say meditation is challenging. I can't get my mind to sit still. It's just really hard to do. Oh, it's not for me. I hear that quite a bit. So I tried to do this. I tried to compare like meditation, like with clearing out, with like planting for a garden. So this is a forest you see. How do you clear a forest to make space for a garden? What are some of the first things you would do to clear out a forest for a garden? You can unmute yourself and just jump in. Can they, Shani? Okay. What are some of the things you would do to clear the forest? To clear this forest for a garden, this is a lot of overgrown stuff. How would you do that?
You gotta start to get rid of the weed and stuff. Get all the bad stuff out, I guess you could say.
Right. And you'd have to get rid of the rocks.
Mhm.
Take out big
Cut down
rocks.
Cut down the trees.
Mhm.
Find good soil,
Mhm.
find a good place.
You have to tilt the ground after you clear out.
Okay, I like this.
Okay.
So now that you've cleared the land, what is your next step? It's all clear now. What do you do?
Tilt the ground.
Mhm.
Prepare for growth.
How do you prepare for growth?
One, I think you figure out what worked before, and two, you figure out where you, what needs improvement.
Plant new seeds.
Yes. Who said that? Plant new seeds. Yes.
Veronica.
Yes. And so once you plant your seeds and once you plant your seeds, then and you have vegetables growing, what's your next step?
You had to cultivate it.
Harvest.
Yeah, protect it from the animals.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Johnny,
Thanks.
Lawan said they can't unmute.
She put up her thumb. Okay. Oh, there she get. Okay. So next slide. So cultivating the mind is like cultivating land. First, you have to clear out the irritants, which can be frustration, anxiety, irritability, agitations. And I just want to say, it's not like these things are just going to go away magically. You just have to clear them out. They may come back, just like when you have a garden, so your weeds are going to come back. You just have to continue the process of clearing them out. Then you have to fertilize your mind by pumping positive energy and affirmations and scriptures and discipline into the mental soil. Then you sow the seed and you harvest your crops of confidence, morality, mindfulness, and wisdoms. These are just a few suggestions. This is how I came up with how to meditate. And by no means is this easy. It takes time and practice. Like I said, when I first started meditating, I had no idea what I was doing. I just knew I had to reacquaint myself with myself. For me, meditation helps me feel grounded. I became more in touch with my emotions and my decision making and why I made certain decisions. And it helped me realize that I can't change a situation, but I can change my response to a situation. It also helped me change my perspective. And so in changing my perspective, it's not that I have to do something, it's that I actually get to do something. And so I applied this one to I don't say to everything, but when I applied to meditation, it's like, wow, I actually get to meditate. I get to control my emotions. That's a gift. I'm grateful for that. And when I use it for physical exercise, I was like, oh, it's not that I have to exercise, it's that I actually get to exercise, because mobility is a gift. When you think about being mobile and being able to get up and walk and do the things you do, it is truly a gift. Next.
What Bobby said to me one time.
So these are just a few types of meditations. There are a lot of different types of meditations out there. I just picked these few just to go over. Mindfulness meditation is one you hear quite a bit of now. It's about just being present, recognizing your thoughts, not fighting with your thoughts, just acknowledging them and just being present with your thoughts. You don't judge them. They're just your thoughts, just being present. That's also called Vipassana meditation. That's actually the meditation I'm getting my certification in. Spiritual meditation, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the spiritual focus. Meditation is used in nearly all religions and spiritual traditions. The types of spiritual meditation are as diverse as the world's spiritual traditions. Movement meditation. Yoga is a form of movement meditation. But not only yoga, but walking. You can have walking meditations. You can have gardening is also seen as a meditation. Tai Chi is also seen as a meditation, and other gentle movements can be seen as a meditation. Mantra. Mantra is where you take a repetitive word or phrase or sound to clear the mind. Or I don't know if you guys have heard like which is a universal sound that's actually used in a lot of different meditations, and is also used in yoga. Transcendental meditation is designed to quiet the mind and induce a state of calmness. I've seen a lot of information about transcendental meditation. I'm not really that familiar with it. It is a practice that can be relatively costly. But it's not what it's, I don't know the cost. I don't want to give any misinformation, but I know that one can, you have to go to a certified practitioner on numerous occasions, and it is affiliated with a fee. The ones I've mentioned prior to this are things you could just do on your own. And I guess over time, you probably can do transcendental on your own, but I'm just not that familiar with it. Loving kindness is used to strengthen feelings of compassion, kindness, and acceptance towards yourself and others. And visualization is a technique that's focused on enhancing feelings of relaxation and peace and calmness by visualizing positive scenes, images, and figures. Now, meditation can be guided, where someone's talking, or it can be listening to light music, or it could just sit in silence. When I initially started, because I just wanted to become familiar with my thoughts and what I was feeling, I just listened to meditation music. I was a little nervous about guided meditation because I just didn't, I wanted to know what people were saying, prior to me, people feeding into my brain waves. So it took me a while to get to guided meditation. That was just my preference. So I did the music initially. So we can go to the next slide. And here are a few benefits of meditation. Meditation for me is self-care. All of these benefits that are listed here, these are science-based benefits of meditation. And I feel like on TV commercials, you see commercials for Headspace all the time. Who's the swimmer? Michael Phelps. He's an advocate for Headspace. Meditation. It's a meditation app. So, and you'll see these Calm. I think Calm is another meditation app, and I see these commercials all the time. So I feel like it's a push for people to meditate, to deal with the stress that's happening in the world. Like I said, meditation is a practice that I feel like has changed my life. I love self-care in every aspect, but for me, my self-care practices are yoga and meditation. Next. So another interactive part. You can unmute yourselves. This is just to ensure you guys are paying attention. You don't want to just be talked to. You have to interact. It's 6:30. It's raining here. So I need materials to meditate. A bell, sing a bowl, read a book first. True or false? Everything's true or false. True or false?
False. False.
Meditation is considered a self-practice.
True.
Self-care practice.
Yeah.
True. True. True.
True. It is a tool to help you get through tough times, as well as a tool to deal with stress.
True. True.
My mind has to be empty to meditate.
False.
False. So just for that, if your mind is never going to be empty. People think your mind has to be empty. Your mind is never going to be empty. But if you prioritize your practice and be consistent, you'll see changes begin to happen. I have to sit on a meditation pillow with my legs crossed and my hands on my thighs.
Oh,
False. Just be comfortable. That's all. You to be comfortable. You can sit on your couch. If you sit in your bed, you most likely probably will go to sleep, but it doesn't mean you didn't meditate. And also, just to reiterate, meditation can be walking, it could be gardening, it could be yoga or any other gentle practice. I think that's a very important point because people think you just have to be sitting to meditate, and that's just not true. Over time, meditation can provide a better understanding of my emotions and improve how I interact with myself and others.
True.
True, absolutely true. Next. So this just gives you an idea of my meditation practice has evolved over time. Before I meditate, especially first thing in the morning, I really don't like to speak to anyone. You know, I feel like it's a space and time for me to get myself together. I don't, my husband's usually not up, so I'm not really forced to speak to him in the morning. So I don't really speak to anyone before I meditate. So I usually go into my office, which is a multi-purpose space. It's an office, it's an exercise, my exercise room, and it's my meditation room. I light a candle and I light an incense, and I do sit on a meditation cushion with my legs crossed and hands on my thighs. And I usually do a guided meditation between 10 and 15 minutes. And then after that meditation, I do a yoga practice, which is sometimes between 7 and 10 minutes. Then I start my day by checking email, and then I proceed to work out and work. My evening meditation is usually in bed because I don't like to just get in bed and sleep. I like to, it's important to me, rest is just really important to me. So I like to develop a routine so I can be rested. So I usually get in bed and I meditate, and I put on like a 15 to 20 minute meditation, because you know, rest is a tool for self-care as well. You have to get your rest in order to have the proper function. So, you know, through meditation, I feel like I stumbled on my purpose. I don't know if my mother remembers, but I was like, I want to know I want to know my purpose. You know, what is my purpose in life? You know, seems like people know what they want to do. And I'm always trying different things or doing different things until I really realized what my purpose was. And so what I think, or what I know, because it's not a think, it's a no, I know my purpose is to be me. My purpose is to be authentically me, to be true to myself, to be kind and spread joy. That's my purpose. And in doing that, I extend the same freedom to others to be the same. So it took me a while to get there, because I'm like, is my purpose to be a doctor? Is my purpose to be a scientist? Is my purpose to run a marathon or to something big and glamorous? But my purpose is so simple. It's just to be me and be authentic and share that with the world. So that's what meditation has done to me. And, you know, in thinking about that, I feel like I just realized that I'm 50 years old, and I'm just like, wow, it took me all this time to get to that, because I thought it was just supposed to be this glamorous big picture item that I was supposed to be. But I'm just so grateful I found it. And, you know, I wouldn't change anything about the journey, because if I would, I probably wouldn't be where I am today. So I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful for all aspects of my journey, the sad times, the good times, the laughter. I'm just grateful. All that I went through was meant to be was meant to be so I can get to where I am today. And I noticed in looking, I also journal. I started journaling through this process of transformation. When I write in my journal, I seem to always conclude forever grateful. That's like my little signature, forever grateful. And I realize I do that when I'm feeling good, when I'm feeling sad, mad, happy. I'm just grateful for all situations that help get me to where I am on this life journey. Next. So this pretty much concludes the end of my presentation. And I just wanted to thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, Shawnee, for thinking of me and for inviting me to present about my business adventure. And I have my contact information here. I'm still in the process of setting up my web page and Instagram and Facebook. So I also listed here, I use the Insight Timer app. It's a link in here. Oh, don't go back. It's a link in here for Insight Timer. It is free, but sometimes when you're in Insight Timer, it depends on how you get in there. They will ask you to pay for a subscription. You do not have to pay. It is free. If you want to pay, you can get some more services, but the free actually works for me. And I also meditate through Peloton, which is a paid membership. I've also listed some positive affirmations by this group called Beautiful Chorus. Two that really resonate with me, I Am Enough and Hymn of Healing. I listen to these quite often, especially I Am Enough, because sometimes when I'm dealing with sadness, and you know, I'm assuming we all have feelings of inadequacy. And so I know I do. And so listening to these affirmations, I am enough, and they have, it's maybe like a sentence or two that they repeat over and over, and it's probably like 7 to 8 minutes. Here I put the links in. These are YouTube links, but you can also look it up on the Insight Timer app, or you could just Google it. I Am Enough by Beautiful Chorus. It's really nice. And the Hymn of Healing. I'm a beautiful being of whole and light. I can't remember all the words, but it's very beautiful affirmations that help sustain you. So I put a scripture on here. My mouth will speak words of wisdom. The meditation of my heart will give you understanding. So I love that. That resonated with me, because the meditations of my heart help me to speak wisdom. So that's how I translate it. So I just thought that stood out to me. And as I mentioned before, I am working on my yoga teacher training, and I have to do a project. And my project is called Yoga Wind Down. And I know a few of you have already agreed to host, but I'm just letting everybody know. The project is for me to come to your home to do a yoga session and talk about the benefits of yoga over wine or juice or water. But it is wind down. So wine is wine to drink, but wind down is, you know, we're winding down and we're talking and we are just having a conversation. So it's a little play on words. So I'm asking people to host me at their home. You could do it in your backyard, or if you got a big enough house, you could do it in your basement. And the dates are from July 8th through October 2nd. So there's a lot of dates in there you could play around with. So if you're interested, let me know. Shawnee has my contact information. My contact information is here on in the presentation. You can email, you can text me. I didn't put an email, I should have put an email, but you can text me or call me if you want more information about it. And lastly, my girlfriend Melissa, next. My girlfriend Melissa, who's also on the line, good friend, co-worker of mine. She's hosting a Mind, Body, Soul event on July 2nd from 11 to 2. I put the flyer in here for your information. It's about reaffirm, refocus, and replenish. I'm going to be assisting her with this event, and I'm going to be doing a presentation of yoga and meditation. So this is just a plug if you're interested in attending. So again, I appreciate your time, and may the light in me see the light in you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mhm. Very nice.
Are there any questions?
I had a question, Natalie, on the page that listed the different types of meditations. Number 6 was, what was it? Loving and kindness or something like that.
Loving kindness.
Can you give an example of what that is for clarity?
When I think of loving kindness meditation, it's just, as I mentioned, extending compassion to yourself, recognizing your emotions and say, hey, I extend some compassion to myself. When you extend compassion to yourself, you're more likely to extend it to others. And so just sitting in that helps strengthens your ability to extend compassion and loving kindness. And like I said, I mentioned, there's so many different types of meditation. If you Google it, you'll find a lot. And as I mentioned, mindfulness, Vipassana, yoga has been around for thousands, hundreds, I don't know, I'm gonna say thousands of years, one of the first types of meditations. Meditation is not new. It's not a new thing. It's just becoming, because as we can see, people are sad, and people are becoming unhinged, and people are not grounded, in their spirituality, in their life. And so meditation is a tool, just to ground yourself. Because also we have so many external forces that tell us who we should be, that we don't take the time to get to know ourselves and identify what we should be. Instead, we let external forces dictate to us who we should be. And that's just, we have to be internal to get to the root of things. That's pretty.
Natalie, you have a question in the chat. What time do you wake up and go to sleep?
This is a good one. My goal is to wake up at 5:30, and my goal is to go to bed at 10 o'clock. I always say I don't like my feet to touch the floor after 10:30. I don't want my feet to touch the floor at 10:30, but of course they always do, because I gotta go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. But as far as going to bed, I want to be in bed no later than 10:30. So I try to get between 7 to 7.5 hours of sleep. And I know I have that flexibility because I work from home. So, and I have flex hours, but I still try to do my 8 hours, but I do have flex hours.
Do you use the feature on your phone to turn off your phone?
At night?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, absolutely. My phone usually goes off like 9:30.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, it doesn't go off. It just gets dim. Does that make sense? Like my calls and everything should be blocked from 9:30. I'm Android, Santania.
Oh.
I know you iPhone users out there in the world.
I know I wasn't meaning it like that to be prejudiced, but that is a nicer feature of the iPhone, just in case you wanted to know.
Thank you. I'm so appreciative.
So I had a question for with the breathing exercises. Can you combine one or more of them?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I just say, you know yourself, you know your health. So you can't sit there all day breathing in and out and changing, you don't want to lose oxygen. So you can combine them, but I would just not do it for an extensive period of time, especially like if you have high blood pressure or things like that. I am not no way by any means in the medical field. So the advice that I presented today is just, it's not medically sound, but it's a practice. That's what I'm saying. So I'm not giving medical advice here, but yes, you definitely can combine them. I combine the box breathing, the lion's breath, and the alternate nostril. I'll do, especially the alternate nostril. I use that a lot to inhale and exhale first thing in the morning. Did I answer your question?
The app
Yes.
that you referenced earlier is Insight, N-I-S-I-T-E.
INSIGHT.
G-H-T.
Insight Timer.
Timer, okay.
And again, if you download Insight Timer, the affirmations that I mentioned can be found on there.
Okay.
Now I use that every day. And they have, I feel like it's updated quite often because they even check your mood when you log in. They say, how are you feeling today? So you can say good, sad, happy, all these options. And that can be a little annoying because I just want to meditate, but I do appreciate the effort to check in because sometimes people don't have people to check in on them. So it's kind of nice to have a app where you could just say, hey, I'm feeling sad today. You could just click the sad face, and then you can go back and look, oh, I was feeling sad this day, because it keeps a record.
Great presentation. Thank you.
Yes.
I always
Thank
struggle
you.
with breathing. It was funny every time when I used to exercise. Well, I still exercise, but when I used to go to classes in the gym, it seemed like the instructor was always looking at me and say, breathe. I'm like, how I'm not breathing? But it was, I always have a hard time breathing. It's like I have to hold my breath to do things. So that has to be a journey for me.
And Mother, I must be your child because I always have a tough time breathing. I didn't think about it. When I'm working out, I'm holding my breath. I'm like, you're going to pass out. And I learned that from the Peloton instructors. They always say, breathe, you're going to pass out, because I think it's just a reaction for most people. When you start working out, you're like, and you're just holding your breath and it doesn't make sense, but it's just.
You are my child.
So I recognize the breath and I breathe. And yoga helps me recognize the breath. As I'm working on my teacher training, you have to know when to inhale and exhale. And I'm all over the place. I'm so confused with that part. So it's a practice that gets better over time, because when you're in a pose, you need to inhale. When you're coming out, you need to exhale. When you raise your arms, there's so many different things you have to learn about. You inhale, exhale. So it's challenging for me.
Anne Marie has a question.
Oh, yes. Good evening. Thank you so much, Natalie. This was beautiful reinforcement for practices that, don't cost a lot of money and they're available to all of us. I don't know if you're familiar, if anyone, I put in the chat a link to an organization called Works of Wonder. I don't know if anyone has heard of them, but they are run by a husband and wife team, and they offer sessions to their mission says that they're dedicated to teaching African American community, people of color, meditation, and deep and Kriya yoga. And so I don't want to compete with what, I don't want to take away from any of your emphasis and what you're trying to build in your development of learning to be a yoga teacher. But for those of you who are interested, they do offer courses online in breathing, and they're, pay what you can. They're not necessarily free, but so it's a way to, and I think, Natalie, you might enjoy meeting, just experimenting with the different style, because they do all of the same. The breathing is universal. All the different techniques. They have different names. We do alternate nostril breathing. They don't call it box breathing, but everything that you've mentioned has been something I've learned over this past year and a half now. But so just for the community that's interested, you might want to check them out, because it reinforces everything that Natalie has shared today.
Thank you so much. I'm going to look into that, because, yes, this is to me, it's a platform for sharing, because it is a community. I'm learning so much. It's so many communities out there that are just engaged in helping the Black community. There's I'm not receiving my training because I signed up for my other training, my yoga training. There's a Black yoga studio in Laurel, and I just haven't been able to get there. But one weekend I'm going to get there.
Right. Yeah.
I've heard so much about it, because when we think about yoga, especially for the African American community, people think it's really about the pose. And I'm not, yoga is not about the pose. I just want to reinforce that. It's about
it's
pose. It's one small piece. It's about the breath. Yoga is for anybody and everybody, no matter your size. I can't do a headstand. I don't know if I ever will be able to do a headstand. I don't know if I want to do a headstand, but I enjoy the benefits of yoga and how it's helping me to breathe and engage and strengthen myself mentally and physically.
Pastor, you have a question? You have your hand up? Okay.
Yes. I noticed, Natalie, that you offered to, I'll say, yoga parties. Anyone who wants to host a yoga party. What do you call it? Wind down?
Yoga wind down.
Yoga wind down. So I was thinking, a lot of times, and we used to do things at the church, like we did, what was that name? Zumba, and we've had other exercise instructors come in. So are you open to doing something like that for, and call it punch down, yoga punch down?
Yoga water down?
Yeah, because I asked that because someone in our congregation had asked me about doing some different things like yoga. I always want to say yogurt, but yoga or dancing as a means of exercise. So this would be something that I'm thinking some people may be interested, not as on a continuing basis, but to at least come and learn some of the techniques, since especially you said it's for everyone. And, we have quite a few people who are, gracefully senior.
Absolutely. I would be open to that. And there's modifications. You can even do chair yoga, which I'm just a student, but I can learn once I know my audience, I can learn what the needs are. And yoga can be done in quiet, not in quiet, but without music, or it could be done with music. I like all forms of music done too. I like the quietness when I am training. But sometimes when I'm home, I just like a little music with my yoga. And I have really started to enjoy gospel yoga. I mean, it is because when you're grounding yoga keeps you grounded. And so you're listening to this spiritual music. It's so wonderful. I really enjoy it.
Any final thoughts and questions? My co-moderator, Dwight, would you like to say anything?
Yeah, I do. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Reverend Parker Jones, thanks for that last comment that you made with regards to, asking about the punch down parties or the water down parties in lieu of the wine down parties. Because it got me to thinking, there's so much that we deal with in our communities. There's a lot of stress and mental health issues that we deal with as well. I see where yoga could be a tremendous tool with regards to relieving some of the mental health issues, some of the stress, some of the anxieties that many of us use or have. And so perhaps we could look at ways that we can incorporate that with what I can't remember the name, the deaconess at Northminster or Northeastern, who just helped to put on a mental health
Laura
aid.
Hilton.
Yes,
At
Laura Hilton.
Northminster.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Perhaps we could maybe partner up with some of the things that she's doing and incorporate some of your techniques, Natalie, with regards to teaching people how to use the breathing and the other things that you mentioned that will help to relieve the stress. Number one. Number two, I was wondering if you would be willing to come as far as Durwood, Maryland, because I would love for perhaps you to come out and to be with our congregation and some of the members in the community, and there we could have a wind down party. So if you would be willing to do that, we would even perhaps compensate you in some way. But I think it would be a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to introduce that to my faith community in Durwood. And you say it's from July to October, and maybe we could work something out during that time period.
Sure, absolutely. And my project is from July to October. Okay. I will be a certified teacher in November, actually November 20th. So definitely we could do the project, but if we can't get anything scheduled within that time, we could do after that, because I will be a yoga teacher. So okay. I don't want people to feel boxed in just to the project. I will be available as I'm setting up my practicing, and my goal is to maybe work at a local gym, but also to offer private yoga lessons for people who just to teach people, especially our community, because like when you go into these yoga classes, usually when I walk in, I tell you about experience I had the other week. Of course, I'm the only Black person in there, and they automatically, everybody is white and slim and blonde hair, and so they look at you, they like, you're here for this class? Yes, I am.
Well, you feel right at home when you come to my church.
But yes, I definitely will take you up on the offer.
Absolutely.
I think it's important that we see representation.
Absolutely.
Because yoga is for us. Even some form of yoga has roots in Africa.
Exactly.
It does. So everybody think it has roots in India, but some yoga has roots in Africa.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, Natalie, thank you for following your call, for listening and following your call. This is your call.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Praise
I feel
God.
so at home
Thank
in it. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Do what makes you come alive.
Thank
Before we go, can I give a shout out to the educators in the bunch? We have our babies getting ready to head into summer vacation. I'm Cecile, the other half of the man that just finished speaking. And we do social emotional learning every single day. Your presentation was spot on. Please consider a video series for mindfulness, yoga, that we as teachers can queue up. We do this every day during our SEAL time, and it was so needed, so necessary. We do positive affirmations every day. I do it with my 5th graders. So as they go into summer vacation or heading into middle school, and that was my reminder for them on their report cards, remember those positive affirmations that you should tell yourself every single day. But going forward with your certification, please consider a video series that we can just queue up and link. That would be so awesome for our babies to see someone that looks like themselves getting it done, because that's a part in our community that we don't often get a chance to see, just to your point, right? So thank you so much for tonight. I appreciate you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
If you want a copy of the slides, Natalie has agreed to share them. So drop your email address in the chat for me. BPU Presents is every first Tuesday of every month at 6:30 p.m. We will not have a series for the summer. So we will resume in September. I don't have anyone ready to facilitate for September. So if there's something on your heart that you want to share, or if you know someone that would like to share something, please let me know.
I have a suggestion for the whole BPU.
Yes.
While she's getting unstuck, listening to what this is doing, and you mentioned another kind of exercise class from Northeastern Northminster, one of the congregations. It looks like a really good BPU retreat day for just healthy living, healthy habits with, these different things happening from the dietary to the exercise, the breathing, all those things. So just putting a plug in to our moderators.
Absolutely. I think that's a great idea. Yeah, because we've been doing we've actually been moving in that direction with this series, as well as with the mental health first aid responders. So we've been moving in that direction, and I think it would be a great day. I think that's that would be a great topic, source of exercise for a retreat day. So yes, we'll definitely be looking into that. I like that. Okay, thank you.
And I'd just like to say again, I think I don't have a pen. It would be just like me not to have a pen. Oh, I just found one, a pen at the table. But for those who are interested, just please reach out to me, and vice versa. I'll try to reach out to you, because right now I'm in the process of scheduling my yoga wind down, yoga parties. Because I'm still in training. My trainings for yoga are in person, because to me, the form is most important, and learning how to breathe is something I didn't want to learn online. So I do have training every 4th weekend of the month to November. So, but outside of that, I'm scheduling days to do my project. So you can reach out to my numbers on the slide. And just to put a plug in for the event on July 2nd, the information for that is also in my slide presentation.
I want to say awesome job, Natalie. Awesome job. And I want to say I will be your chauffeur for any place 45 miles out.
Oh, with the price of gas, yes, please.
No. I'll drive your car.
We got you on your gas.
You get there safely. I want to make sure you get there safely, so I'll drive your car.
Oh.
You can relax and prepare.
I'm so appreciative, forever grateful.
So I think my internet.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Hey, Shani, she's freezing.
That went
up.
out when I was, okay. All right.
Are you back, Shani? Okay. All right. Well, Shani seems to be, there she is. Hi, Shani, can you hear me?
Still frozen.
Okay, yes, still frozen. So, well, if there are no other questions or comments, we can adjourn. Thank you all for being on the presentation, for participating in this wonderful, wonderful series that the BPU hosts every Tuesday of the month. We look forward to hearing more from Natalie and all the wonderful work that she's doing to help us to learn how to breathe and how to have a better quality of life. So with that being said, why don't we end with prayer? Let us pray. Most gracious and holy God, once again, Lord, you have provided us with information that will help us to better our lives, to live a better quality of life just by breathing. God, the breath that you have given us, Lord, you have allowed us to learn more about our own breathing and how we can benefit from that. And in that benefit that we have, oh God, we can continue to represent you and to be that those who will glorify you in all that we do and all that we say. We thank you so much, God, for Natalie. We thank you for the work that she's doing. And we pray, God, that you would just be with her and you would just continue to move her forward, God, as she continues to pursue her certificate for teaching and for touching and encountering the lives of so many people whom she will just change their lives just by teaching them how to breathe. So God, we thank you for this evening. We thank you for all who have been on this call, and we ask, God, by your spirit that you would continue to lead and guide us and you protect us and you would give us, God, that which we need to go through each and every day. So God, we thank you. It is this we pray in the most wonderful, the most precious, and the most holy name of your Son, our Redeemer, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you, Natalie.
I look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you,
Likewise. Thank you.
Good night.
Thanks,
everyone.
Natalie.
God bless you.
Bye.
Thank you.